So I'm Ian Rowlands from Siren Calling.
And I'm Russell Arnott from Incredible Oceans. So I think a lot of the time within academia, I think a lot of researchers, a lot of scientists think communications, this isn't something for me. There's the communications team, I'll let them do it, or there's an enthusiastic PhD or a postdoc student that can go out and do the public engagement work. I think fundamentally, when you look at what the role of a scientist is, ingrained within that is being a communicator. You write papers to communicate your research to the broader scientific community. You go to conferences to communicate your research to your scientific community. So the communication skills that we're going to be teaching you aren't just to go and do school talks or just to talk to the media. These will fundamentally underpin and help you become a better scientist. They will help you understand your audience better, to help target those papers and really hone them down, to really get your conference talks nailed. And similarly, when writing things like funding and grant applications, to really get your message heard by the grant giver so it resonates in such a way that they see the importance and the validity of your research.
And it's not just about reaching the public, which is critical, but I think it's also about influencing decision makers and funders and the people with the purse strings. How do we emphasise the importance of ocean science and giving the tools to communicate about it?
I think a lot of people organise and put on communications courses, and I think they can be a little bit of a muchness, and I think one of the unique things about ours is we incorporate a lot of psychology, neuroscience and I guess like advertising skills within it, and we really show or help marine scientists like blow their own trumpet and help them showcase their work to as many people as possible. And it's just subtleties with phraseology and language use that can really help it resonate with different groups of people.
Yeah, so on the communication course, I think we really go through what seems like really basics, but it's so easy for us to slip into, which is stripping down the language so there's no jargon and all those acronyms that we use, putting things in language that everyday people can understand. It's fascinating looking at Latin versus Anglo-Saxon and the way that words are used. So we look at that, we look at the way that we get our messaging straight. We're really interested, as you said, in societal values. And we can have everything else clear, the facts, get our emotions straight, everything that we think is going to communicate well. But if the values of the audiences we're speaking to don't align with ours, we're reaching a wall. We're not getting past that.
The definition of insanity is doing the same thing again and again, but expecting a different result. And I feel very frustrated that ocean scientists have been talking to policymakers and the general public now for over 70 years about the state of the ocean. And the ocean's in as worse state as it's ever been in. So clearly it's not working, and so I guess our agenda was to try and help as many people as possible. So the communications course is pretty good fun. I think they're just going to learn your kind of standard communication stuff, which is don't use big words, make eye contact, speak with confidence. And interestingly, what we do is we do a lot of video making with mobile phones throughout that. And at first they're a bit like, well, hold on, I didn't sign up for this. Why am I all of a sudden expected to make a video with my mobile phone? And we use it as a diagnostic tool. So we do a video at the beginning of the day and get them to talk for 1 minute to the camera about their research. And then gradually we drip feed new information. They do script writing. We do very basic videography. And they do the video again and they do it again and they apply their knowledge, they learn something new, they apply it, and then by the end of the day, they've got this all singing, all dancing video, 1 minute long, just a simple talking head video that explains their ocean science. And what's really nice to see is they go from this state at the beginning of the day of not really having much confidence, being quite awkward, maybe shy, a bit timid, using a lot of jargon, and at the end of the day, they've got this fast, hard-hitting, really impactful video that a lot of them are very proud to put on their social media channel.
So in my experience, we never stop learning, and you might be very busy, and goodness knows I know people in research and academia, it's hard to want to devote the time to this, but I promise you'll get a lot from it. Even if you've done the course before, a reminder is a powerful tool for you to use. You might find yourself speaking to colleagues, you might find yourself talking to the press, Who knows what it is, but a set of tools that help you communicate effectively are something that will last you a lifetime.